I'm really glad you're the crypt keeper in that analogy. Thank you so much for that intro. Hi, you guys! Wow, it's me again. And I'm on a mic you can hear me on. We love that. Hey, so I have anxiety.
Woo!
You can clap there, yeah. And I had a lot of anxiety about coming and doing this show and the show last month. This is a monthly show, just in case you guys want to come back or something, you know. Just a lot of anxiety about getting into this gig, and I could not figure out why. Hello at the door. Hello. Shiksa. She'll come get you. Oh, she's over. Anyway, hi, welcome to the show. You know, and I couldn't figure out where this anxiety about getting into this gig was coming from, because it was just like debilitating. Like I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. The jokes are coming, don't worry. So I couldn't figure out why, so I kind of went back and like figured out what was going on. You know, went through a couple of different things. And first and foremost, like I don't know where we stand anymore. I was a full-time drag queen before COVID hit. And like, this should not be an issue for me, you know? So I was like, let's go to the list and like see what kind of things are making me nervous, you know? Like maybe it was the travel, like maybe it's now that I have to wipe off someone's childhood home off my car windshield to like get to anywhere I'm trying to go that makes me nervous. It's like, no, okay, I don't think that's it, because I drove here fine. Maybe it's the Lyft rides that I had to take in drag, because you know, being in drag and like taking a Lyft ride, that's some weird shit. Have you guys ever been in like a Halloween costume and gotten in a Lyft? It's like the same thing, but like I'm just trying to present as like just a very tall woman, you know, just trying to like exist. I didn't have a car for a while, so I had to take Lyft rides everywhere I went. And there was one Lyft that was across town. Like I lived in Denver, and I Becky, I'm gonna let you be the martyr for that one. You know, so I'm in Denver. The gig is in Aurora, and it's like a 25-minute Lyft ride. And I was like, great, there goes my show pay, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I get in this Lyft. It comes up to the door. I'm in full, you know. You can. That's cool too. So full gauge, full makeup, just looking beautiful. Lyft ride shows up, and this man arrives out of the car door. Like usually, you know, Lyft pulls up and they're just like, hey, it's me. This guy gets out of the car. He looks like Lurch, just shoulders. He's got a long pinstripe shirt on, so it just like lengthens his body, which is already too tall. Hairline here, and then just like crypt keeper hair. You know? And I was like, you know what, work. Everybody exists differently in the world. I love that for this man. It's, you know, it's just like a blocky black car. I'm like, why does this look like the Addams Family? It should be like in this car with me, whatever. So I get in the car, this man just, hello. How are you? Full makeup, wig cap. I'm like, I'm great, how are you? What's going on? We're gonna be in the car together for a while. Silence. Just a long silence. Just, eventually he kind of like starts talking about makeup with me, because you know, I'm clearly presenting as a drag queen. I was like, wow, your makeup looks good. I used to do makeup. And I was like, maybe a closeted queer person, let's talk to him. He's like, yeah, when I worked in the morgue. This is a real story. This is a real fucking story. This man used to work in a mortuary and did the makeup and just talked to me about it. And as he's talking to me about this, I found out earlier the same day my grandma had died. So I was not close with her. She lived like 3 hours away. I didn't care. It's not a big deal. Not part of the story. But she was dead. I found out that day, and the crypt keeper took me up. Took me to a gig so I could sing a song in drag. It was not a good time. This man just talks about makeup and how he used to do it on dead people. And I was like, 25 minutes later, it's like, bye, thank you so much, I have to go, you know? Lyft rides and drag, never a good time. Never a good time. Like, there's just so many that go so wrong. But that's not why I was nervous about coming here tonight. Why I was nervous is because I can't unlock my goddamn phone. You know, maybe it's the business aspect of it. Like, maybe it's because, like, drag is a business and I don't want to, like, be a business person. I just want to, like, tell some jokes and get the fuck out. But that's not it, because my parents were entrepreneurs, so this is, like, in my blood. Like, my mom owned a salon, like, grew up in a salon. Like, I can smell a salon like a shark. Smells blood, okay? Like, anywhere I go, my eyes go black. I'm like, there's a perm happening. You just know. I was with my friends. First time I go to Greeley, because they moved up there for college or whatever. We go into this thrift shop, and I was like, there's a salon in this thrift shop. They were like, what the fuck? No, there was. I asked the lady. She was like, yeah, it's in the back. Do you need something? I was like, no, I could just smell it. I just knew, you know. I don't know if it's a superpower. I don't know if it's part of who I am, but it is. My dad was also an entrepreneur, and I don't know what he ever did, because it didn't last for like a long period of time. It was always like gig work. He was just like doing things. And it was always just the most random shit. Like, did you guys, this is a long time ago, you may not get this reference, there's some young people in the crowd. Do you guys remember when like some of the buildings downtown were lit up? Like they had the John Elway number 7? That was my dad. Like that was the kind of shit he did. He also worked in haunted houses.
Woo!
Yeah, bitch! So like, clearly I had some expertise growing up. This man like did haunted houses, and every Halloween, our house was the coolest house on the block, period. Okay, this man has professional lighting gear. One year he got a professional grade smoke bomb and was like, oh, we'll just make some fog. We could not see the block. There were no houses. There were just like lights, and you'd have to like trick or treat up to maybe a door. Maybe it was a ghost ship. You don't know. Like Captain J.B. Jones was just like, yar. You didn't know. It was wild. And growing up, we had Rotten Rita. Okay, my dad would talk about Rotten Rita for years. There's just this woman in the garage. Her name is Rotten Rita. She's dead. And we keep her in the upstairs. I can't show you guys because you're very little. Talks about this for years. Every Halloween, my dad was like, maybe this is the year we get out Rotten Rita. And I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? So he pulls out a literal corpse.
Oh my god.
Not like a dead person, but like a piece of, I don't know what, that he had like put paper mache over and like put actual hair from my mom's hairstyling business on top and like pulverized just a dead fucking body that he had used in a haunted house commercial. It was a Rotten Rita. We just like put her up in the living room. We were just like, whatever, Rita. That's just part of who I am. I'm just trying to let you guys know what the fuck is going on here, okay? I have a lot of anxiety. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. Maybe you're getting a hint. But no, I don't think it was the business stuff. Because, like, I'm doing fine, like, full-time drag queen. Clearly I'm doing something right. So maybe it was, like, the lifestyle that comes with being a full-time drag queen. You know, because there's a very specific, like, lifestyle that comes with it. Like, my sleep schedule, fucked. I work 9 to 5, but it's PM to AM, and it's not good for you. Maybe it's the diet, you know, because the drag queen diet is just like Taco Bell, Pete's Kitchen at 3 a.m., and then just like whatever cheap food I can make as I'm getting ready for the gig. Because to get ready in drag takes like 4 fucking hours. So you have to just like microwave some bacon bits and go for it. But that wasn't it, because I was used to eating just like garbage food. My dad could not cook, did not cook, would not cook, could not get into it. So when we were entering middle school, he created what he called cheese in the middle. Oh, bitch, this was the moment. This was it for him, okay? Cheese in the middle. So let me give you the recipe. You're gonna love it. Go home, bake it for your kids. They're gonna grow up and resent you. It's great. So you take 2 pieces of Wonder Bread, white, plain ass Wonder Bread. You put them on a plate, up, you know, facing up, and then you take lettuce. Just out of the fridge, you're shaking your head no, I was too, we didn't have an option. Lettuce on the bread, and you put pieces of pre-sliced deli meats. Whatever meat we had, didn't really matter. Sometimes turkey, sometimes chicken, usually not good. Then you take sprinkled shredded Mexican cheese and you'd sprinkle it on top of the ham. Close it, microwave it for about 35 seconds. And serve it to your young preschool children. It was a big deal because he finally made something that was not just mashed potatoes that were out of a box. You know, the sprinkle ones? That was dinner with my dad. So we had cheese in the middles, and my mom would make spaghetti. And I was like, yes, this is a delicacy. This is it. Spaghetti is not what I cook because I don't have any money for food. Not that we were poor, she just didn't like to cook. Anyway. the show. Like, so, okay, what else could it be? Maybe it's the clothes I'm wearing, you know? Because doing drag is very, like, sequins and rainbows and just, like, gay shit. And, like, maybe that's what was giving me anxiety. Because, you know, like, dressing up from quarantine clothes, which is pajamas, maybe a shirt, if the neighbors aren't lucky that day. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know. But growing up, I always expressed myself through, well, I hid myself in my clothes, you know what I mean? I wore all black in middle school, just from middle school on. Like, I hit puberty and I was like, nope, baggy pants, t-shirts, we're not doing this shit. All black, usually like the athletic pants, you know? They have a little stripe down the side, and I pinned this little case onto my belt. It was 12 by 12 inches that I put origami paper into and carried around on a carabiner to every class. And do that instead of schoolwork. I just like make origami shit instead of doing schoolwork. So I was like, you know what, I'm artsy. I'm fun, I'm different. It is not good. It was not sinking in with the people around me. So it was like, all right, moving into high school, trip pants. Same sort of solution, but it says, get the fuck away from me, much better. Which I loved. You know, my mom said, she read the Confessions of the Columbine kids. You remember those guys? She was like, yeah, you remind me so much of them growing up. And I was like, what the fuck? What am I gonna do with that information, Mom? What do I? I'm gonna just sit in that for a second. I was like, Mom, I just hate my body and I want people to stay away from me. Is there anything wrong with that? And she was like, apparently there is. But the only clothes that ever let me express myself and who I truly believed me to be was this Jane Goodall shirt. You guys know Jane Goodall, the like monkey girl? She plays with the apes or whatever. My dad did a thing with her. I don't know what he did, but she had a TED Talk or something in town. My dad was there to do lighting or... Again, I don't really know what my dad ever did. So he lit the show, bought a shirt for me, and he was like, I'm so sorry. There was only a women's baseball team. I'm in 4th grade, and it came up to here, and I was like, fully, just like I saw my ankles for the first time, and I was like, wow. Oh, wow. That was the first time I thought, maybe I could be a woman, you know? Thank you so much. I just lost my place. The other thing that was really affirming for me to wear, because, you know, all black, I got into the marching band in high school. Senior year. Now, you may clap and you may ask, what instrument? I didn't. I did not play an instrument in marching band. No. I was the actor for the marching band. This is real. This is real. This is my first time like thinking that maybe the stage is right for me. So the marching band was doing a play, but it was a marching band thing where they had a dream that someone was laying in bed. We had a bed prop that rolled around the field. They woke up from this dream, ran across the field, got struck by lightning, died, was then dragged to hell by demons. Wow. Escaped from hell. This is a high school marching band. Escaped from hell, found their way to heaven, and then woke up because it was a dream the whole time. Like I don't know either. There was a big dramatic moment. I had a umbrella that my dad put LED lights in and would like light up with the boxes. My dad could make anything, and it would just like light up and I'd shake and just fall on the ground on beat. That's another thing I've yet to process in my adult life, you know. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, join the marching band. That was the first time I started like, oh hey, maybe I'm not like a goth kid. Maybe I'm like fun, you know? So I got this hoodie, and it was basically like a fursona, but as a hoodie. Okay, so on our block days, which is like a 2-hour lunch period, I'd wear orange thigh-high socks, long orange cargo shorts, this hoodie, which had ears and a tail, and a white t-shirt that I'd keep unzipped, and just like walk around the halls. And I was like, this is who I am. You're so welcome. I'm so foxy. Like, who the fuck does that? Me, apparently. Anyway, I'm a full-time drag entertainer, so, you know, we really... As a kid, we also played this game that was really affirming called Grandma. That was the name. That was the like robes and shoes and a feather boa. And it was like tag, except Grandma could only walk in these little kitten heels, you know, the plastic ones with the heels that are like that big. You had to just... And... Because if you got kissed by Grandma, dead, you became Grandma. So that was kind of affirming. But, you know, maybe that's not why I'm anxious about doing the show. Maybe it's my voice. You know, because coming into the show, it turns out all drag entertainers sing now. I wasn't ready for that. Did not prepare any kind of ballads or anything. But growing up, I hated my voice. Hated. For a couple of specific reasons. Really specific trauma moments, which I'm going to share with you guys now. You can clap after the end of them if you'd like. Growing up, I never spoke. I always like nodded, or like shook my head, or like shrugged. Maybe I was feeling spicy, like a thumbs up. You know, just to like really tell it to them. And I couldn't talk because in 6th grade we did this Battle of the Books experience where we had to read books and then tell trivia about them, and it was a whole thing. It was my turn to answer, and I go to answer, and my voice cracks. Like fully, like 6 different octaves. I don't really know what an octave was. It was embarrassing. And after that, I had this like, I have to clear my throat before I even think people are going to speak to me. It was not good, so I just kind of stopped talking for a little while. And then later, we went on this trip to Washington, D.C. as a class. And we get to Washington, D.C., and there were a couple of moments. I'll talk about one later where I pee my pants. You're going to love it. There were a couple of events we were going to in this trip, and one of them was a theater production. So we had to like dress really nicely and like see this play. I don't remember what it was. I blacked out most of it. But we're leaving, and I'm talking with my friend, and I'm doing an imitation of a surfer voice for some reason. I don't have context to it, but what I remember is, "Oh, it's totally gnarly, dude. Let's get right away." And I'm realizing about 30 seconds into that I was the only one in the building that was speaking. And the entire class is just like there's a teacher that I highly respected and wanted her to respect me that was just like, "The fuck is wrong with this kid?" So I just stopped talking. So that's part of the reason I'm anxious, but like, I learned to talk. Like, the thing about drag for me is, it was a way to reclaim expressing myself. And it was a way for me to reclaim my voice, because I hate it. I still do. But it's a way for me to like, force myself to talk on a microphone, and force myself to express myself with people. And by doing drag, it's a way that I found that I don't want to be a goth kid. I like to be funny. I like to share experiences. I like to tell jokes. Whether or not they're good, that's for you to decide. For me, to go home and feel good about. And doing drag, like, a lot of my anxieties came from, like, people asking me, you know, doing interviews, because I got those. People ask me, what's the difference between you and Evelyn? And that was a hard question, because there never really was a difference between me and Evelyn. The main difference I just could find was, like, when I was not drag, it felt like there was this bridge between me and reality that I had to cross to say anything, to speak, to express myself. And when I was in drag, that bridge was gone. There was just me being in reality. And while I was doing drag, I realized that I had stopped using my dead name like a year into doing drag. And was just like in social situations, you know, when we're kikiing together, it's like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, that's Evelyn, it's whatever. But I started going by Evelyn all the time, with everybody. So that should have been a sign. But here we are 4 years later, and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna do drag tonight. I realized in the shower today that I'm not doing drag, I'm just coming in some makeup and a coat that I made. Oh, I made this coat. I don't know if you the coat, it matches the mask, it matches the shoes. You're welcome. Anyway, I came as me tonight, and me as a woman, and not as